Hello and welcome to today's web seminar. My name is John Scranton. I'll be your moderator and one of your speakers today as we explain why insurance agencies and brokers may be missing as much as 80% of their target prospects online. Today's webinar is brought to you by the insurance agency marketing and lead gen pros at StartUpSelling. And before we begin, a little bit about the technology. If you'd like to minimize the GoToWebinar menu, click the orange arrow pointing to the right. If you'd like to open it again, click that same arrow, which will be pointing to the left. If you'd like to view the slides in full screen mode, click the white rectangle on the blue button. And if you'd like to enter any questions at any time throughout the presentation, please type them into the question box. We'll queue them up for the Q&A session at the conclusion of the web seminar, and we will respond to any questions we can't get to via email or phone by the end of the week. Now to introduce today's featured guest speaker, Alan Bloom, the founder and CEO of StartUpSelling. Alan's also the author of Your Virtual Success and Sell More and Work Less. He was previously named to the Inc. 500 list in 2 consecutive years. He's the creator of the Prospect Scorecard, the author of over 150 agency marketing articles, and has over a decade of agency marketing experience, focus on e-marketing and video marketing. And again, my name is John Scranton. I'm an agency marketing pro. I was formerly a licensed agent in New York State for a top 100 agency. Since coming to StartUpSelling, I co-authored Sell More and Work Less along with Alan, assisted in more than doubling the revenue of StartUpSelling since I arrived. And I'm an insurance agency marketing expert who focuses on content type driven marketing like blogging, social media, and video that we'll be talking about today. So let's get started. So why are agencies and brokers missing as much as 80% of their target prospects who visit them online? Because they miss on one of these 2 following things. They either fail to educate a prospect who arrives at their website, or they fail to entertain a prospect who arrives at their website. They either don't provide valuable information, or they don't provide it in an interesting enough way. You need to do both. You need to do it quickly. And we think we found a solution that can allow you to overcome this obstacle. And that solution is video. Here's a few reasons why we think video fits the mold, allows you to educate and entertain as soon as people arrive at your website. First off, if you lack video, if you don't have video, and I know many agencies don't because I visit your websites every single day, you're missing a huge opportunity. 4 out of 5, 80% of your website visitors will watch a video. Only 1 out of 5, about 20%, will read content. That may be content that you worked very hard on, spent a lot of time crafting. Only 1 out of every 5 people is actually reading it. However, they would have been willing to watch a video. It also allows you to get your prospects' attention. Increase prospects' understanding of your product service solution by 74%. Complex bullet there, but many of you offer your insurance policies as a product, some as a service where you're creating a policy and providing a risk management service, or a complex solution for maybe a large client who has numerous policies and requires a lot of risk management. On top of that, they will understand what you're doing, how you're wrapping those services together and delivering them by as much as 74% more if you tell them in a video as opposed to write it down in a paragraph of text. It also allows you to explain complex concepts quickly. 90% of internet users say seeing a video helps in their decision-making process. Well, somebody who comes to your site isn't going to instantly buy a 6-figure premium workers' comp policy if they watch your video, but watching that video will certainly influence their process. I watched many videos this summer before buying a house. The last time I bought a car, I watched dozens of videos about different cars that were available. All of them had an impact and were memorable in my process as opposed to duller case studies and commentaries that I may have read. So Alan, in your point of view, how else does video solve the challenge of entertaining and educating when somebody arrives at a website?
Well, first off, agents and brokers need to stop selling to the baby boomer generation. They need to stop conceptually and say, I'm not going to be selling or providing information in the traditional old-fashioned way, which includes everything from snail mail to textual content on a website. there's still that lingering sensation or feeling that they should continue to offer information the same way. I have a great story to elucidate this. So, and I am of the baby boomer generation, but I went to dinner with a group of neighbors recently. And we were talking, and I had mentioned that I had figured out how to clean my gas fireplace. And the gentleman next to me is a bright individual, I'll tell you about him in a second, said, how did you figure that out? Did you go online and read about it? And I said, no, actually, I searched for a video, a YouTube video. I found a number of them by that manufacturer on YouTube. I watched a 3-minute video. It was self-evident as soon as I was done watching it. Piece of cake. Never went to the manufacturer's website. Can't even remember the name of the manufacturer right now. And he responded and said, it's funny you say that, because I broke my iPhone and I was really frustrated and was out of warranty. It was going to be very expensive to replace just a brand new iPhone. Just got it. And I went online and I watched a video on YouTube and it showed how I could do it for $5. I got the part and I did it myself. And this gentleman was a neurosurgeon, so obviously it's kind of interesting. He's a very young individual. I'm a baby boomer, and yet we both sought information in a new, different way. And it was we both went to videos that were probably 3 to 4 minutes in length maximum. And look at how powerful that message was and how consumable it was. We never read anything else, by the way, by either Apple or if it was Linux, the fireplace people. That's what's happening today. People not only are thinking in those terms, they're expecting video to help them assimilate your information.
So if that wasn't enough to convince you that video is paramount in your process and will be paramount for your web marketing and lead gen strategy moving forward, here's some more tidbits for you to consider. Video allows you to convert viewers of your website, viewers of your video, into leads. Almost 2/3 of website visitors say they are more likely to buy a product after watching a video. So as people conduct their research, investigate different insurance agencies or wholesale brokers that they may want to consider working with, almost 2 out of 3 will increase the likelihood that they will buy from you, work with you after they've watched the video. Also allows you to stay in the mind of prospects. 4 out of 5 internet users say they remember video ads that they watch online. Now in our case, we're suggesting that you don't advertise, you educate with your videos, and if you're offering valuable information that will help them with their business, that percentage is likely to increase relative to the 4 out of 5 who can remember an advertisement, much more than the 1 out of 5 or maybe less who will read content on your site. And lastly, video allows you to dramatically improve SEO. Search rankings are influenced by a number of things, but a video can increase the likelihood that your site will appear on Google page 1 or Yahoo page 1 or Bing page 1 by as much as 50 times, showing that it's astronomically important to SEO. So Alan, why else do you believe video is vital for our agents and brokers online today?
Well, let's look at the last stat that you offered, John. That's really, to me, a very compelling statistic, and there's the inverse of that, which I think may be self-evident. It's not just that websites are 50 times more likely to appear on page 1 of a search engine. It's that the people who understand website and website design do a better job, ergo, they are on page 1 of a search engine. So when people are thinking of their websites, the old days would be how much content can we shove on a website. Today, there's a much more compelling need for balance, including featured video. Now, video means different things to different people. For example, on your screen here is a whiteboard video, which is this cool new technology that people are using that is very exciting, it's entertaining, and it helps get the point across very quickly in a fun and interesting way. There's also recorded webinars like we do for every one of our webinars. We record them, and we put them on our website, we put them in a resource library. So there's a combination of video technology that insurance brokers and agents can employ today and leverage on their website to make their website more interesting, more compelling, stickier, and more effective. After all, would you rather listen to an insurance agent pitching you on their value proposition and just talking to you, or perhaps with 10 paragraphs or 5 paragraphs explaining the value proposition, or would you rather hear a 2-minute video encapsulating that in a fun and interesting way? And I think that's pretty obvious, but as we go through this, perhaps people will draw their own conclusion.
Well, Alan mentioned whiteboard videos, and we know that whiteboard videos can provide a tremendous solution to allow you to educate and entertain prospects. So don't worry, if you lack video, as many of you do, we have an answer. We have a solution for you. Just in case you're not intimately familiar with whiteboard videos, on the next slide we're going to talk a little bit about what we mean by that term. A whiteboard video, in our opinion, and there are dials that you can change to refine this to make it custom to your agency and your needs. But in general terms, a whiteboard video is a 2 to 3 minute educational video. It leverages whiteboard animation, like in the example shown on the screen. I often refer back to the old UPS commercials with the gentleman drawing images and pictures and phrases on the whiteboard as kind of the basis for this concept. They usually leverage a professional voiceover, someone speaking. They usually leverage background music behind that person speaking. So you not only have the animated video, you have a voiceover, music, and of course, maybe most importantly, your video, script, and images should conclude with a call to action. What are these videos about? Well, we always suggest you have a value proposition video on your website. Explain to prospects what you do and why it's important in hopefully 2 minutes or less. Or product concept type videos explaining what you do to help your clients with their workers' comp mods or to comply with government regulations for benefits or transportation regulations, etc. Alan, anything to add about what we use for our whiteboard video concepts and how they work for our clients?
Absolutely. It's very important to compare and contrast a whiteboard video from a recorded webinar. Now, many people came today to our webinar. It's a live webinar with a Q&A at the end, and there's a propensity for people to expect, yes, I will spend 20 to 30 minutes listening to that live webinar. Conversely, we strongly recommend people don't do 1-hour webinars unless there's a very specific reason, because they're so long for people to listen to in that format, in that venue. Consequently, with whiteboard videos, the key, or other types of on-demand videos, the key is to make them short. And toward that end, John, what do you do with our 20 or 25-minute webinars after we are done recording them? What's your best practice?
I cut them up into video vignettes, typically 2 to 5 minutes long, depending on where we have breaks in the content. But my goal is to make them 2 to 3 minute chapters showcasing the content of the webinar.
And that's and of course, then you can tag them with the appropriate keywords that you want, and they go up on YouTube and they go up on our website, and it all funnels into getting exactly the information prospects want as quickly as possible in an interesting way.
So why do we so firmly believe that whiteboard videos can provide you with a solution, or maybe that whiteboard videos are even the solution for you to become video competent, video ready online? Well, because they're fast. They can be produced quickly. They're fun. They give your agency the opportunity to be creative, as you maybe have an artist sketch a person or sketch a building instead of using a formal traditional clip art or iStock photo type of image. They're interesting. You can convey unique concepts in a unique way. They're flexible. You can do just about anything. You can have very traditional type of drawings. You can have very complex drawings. You can have very artistic and unique drawings. They're sticky. People remember them. The video shown at right, I know, just by looking at this little image, is a video we did at one point talking about captive insurance programs and the impact that saving on premiums had on the bottom line for a business versus a company who was using a traditional program who was losing money. And that stuck with me. That image has stuck with me even though we did the video several months ago. They're also very professional. They don't have to be cartoonish. They can be very professionally done and have a very professional voiceover and serious background music to make sure that they remain at that elite professional level of service that your agency wishes to convey. They should be, we hope, educational, Convey value. Don't just try to sell insurance. Explain to people how you can help them, how your value proposition will impact their bottom line. They're current. They're new. Although the technology's been around for a while, agencies haven't been using whiteboard videos. They're just starting to. So if you jump on this bandwagon now, you'll be at the front of the boat and you'll be on the leading edge as opposed to tagging along behind. I already talked about how they can be unique. They can also be edgy, and you can tell a story. The best videos, in our opinion, tell a story of how something that an agency or broker did impacted a person or a business to help them. They bring clarity to complex concepts. I mentioned the captive insurance example. Not many people, if you walk down the street, understand how captives work or group captives, etc. But you can clearly convey that concept through a 2 or 3 minute video. And it also shows you're a thought leader. Take that unique expertise that you have, convey it through a unique and very cool whiteboard video. Alan, why else do you think whiteboard videos are the solution for our agency clients and friends?
Well, I'm going to answer that in 2 ways here. I'd like everyone to look at this slide that John has created and look at the words, look at the terms, look at what it's trying to convey to you. And say to yourself, not only do I have any video that conveys that, but does my website convey that? So when you're done with this webinar, if there's one takeaway you could do, go to your website. When's the last time you've updated it? We recommend at least every couple of years you have a pretty major update or a facelift, as I've heard it sometimes described by our team. And do you have video on it? But regardless, does it convey the information you want in an interesting and creative way? Is it clear? Is it current? Does it show you in why your unique value proposition is better? Does it in any way transcend to say XYZ, my XYZ agency, I am the thought leader in the industry. I am the reason. We could do this better than anyone, whether it's restaurant insurance, or trucking insurance, or captives, or performance-based insurance, whatever you happen to be an expert at. Do you convey that through your website? If not, you should think about doing something with it. If yes, fantastic. You're in a very small percentage of the world. And if you don't have video currently, you should think about it soon, because it's going to become a very common and important part of every insurance website.
Now, I can tell by the size of today's webinar crowd and by the number of people who are consistently watching their monitors throughout the webinar that this is an important topic, and most of you get it, or at least have gotten it, that video is critical to your web presence, critical to your web marketing and lead gen strategy. But just in case there's a skeptic or two still out there, let's look at an example that I think really proves the point that we're trying to make today. This text was taken from StartUpSelling's homepage on our website. Reads very well, so I guess Alan must have wrote it. But I'll read you the first sentence. StartUpSelling provides territory-exclusive insurance agency marketing and lead generation services for property casualty agencies, benefits agencies, and wholesale insurance brokers. And if I were to continue on, you would learn about our value proposition, about our products and solutions. Unfortunately, though, only 1 out of every 5 of you, if you visited our site, are likely to read through that text, learn about what we do, and hopefully become interested in having an organization like ours help you. However, on the next slide, what if you saw a whiteboard video on our homepage featured right across the top, and rather than spending 2 minutes reading, you spent 2 minutes listening and watching something that was interesting, compelling, conveyed our value proposition, and explained how we think we could help agencies like you? Well, according to statistics, 4 out of 5 of you would be willing to do that, and therefore would be much more likely to consider an engagement or possible client service relationship. So, with that, we're now going to shift gears into our summary and Q&A session. We have many questions that have come in during today's web seminar from a very large audience, and we appreciate all of you attending. One question that several of you have asked is about today's PowerPoint presentation and slides. We will be posting these slides to our blog. You can also email me or call me. My contact information is on the screen if you would like me to send you a PDF copy of the PowerPoint. And as Alan mentioned before, we'll also be cutting the web seminar up into video vignettes and posting them to our insurance agency marketing blog and to our YouTube channel. So the first question that we have from the audience today is, Alan, I'll pose to you, can you give us some sample topics of whiteboard videos that agencies have leveraged?
Most agencies have no video at all, so the first thing they're trying to do is essentially an agency overview or a value proposition agency. Our agency has been in business for 50 years. All we do is cover commercial. We're commercial account specialists. We have risk managers on staff, consultants on staff. We work with selected underwriters of this type. We have innovative options. We offer buffers. Whatever it happens to be, you give that unique value proposition in a short video. Some years ago, people used to do something called talking head videos. I never really liked the talking head video. Today, a whiteboard video is much more effective for that. Now, once that's done, which is a crucial element and should be one of the key design elements on your homepage, by the way, you should also consider product-centric videos. Perhaps you have 5 different verticals that you do: manufacturing, you do distribution, trucking, and restaurants and hospitality. You could do a video for each one of those and use it not only for your website and YouTube, but also use it for marketing purposes. Somebody asks for information. You don't just send them a digital brochure. You say, the best way to do it is watch this really quick 2-minute video. That's the kind of investment people are often more willing to make than reading through, a 500-word tome that you provide them. So with that, that's just the beginning of an semblance of what people do. Ultimately, it's great if you can have an entire resource library explaining not just your value proposition and your product lines, but also educational material. For example, it would be great to have a resource library if you're a benefits agency explaining, PPACA compliance or, new rulings by the Supreme Court and the impact on the plan, MEC and skinny plans, and those are just great resources to have. You could do intro videos, perhaps on data population analytics, for example, and you could do webinar videos, longer recorded videos for PPACA compliance. All great topics, and hopefully that answers the question, John.
Yeah, I think that was a great answer. Building a library highlighted by a value proposition video, followed by videos talking about your different industry niches that you specialize in, and also the products that you sell, and hopefully have some unique expertise and value built around, provide a tremendous resource library. The next question we have for you is, how can I tell a story in 2 to 3 minutes in a whiteboard video?
That's a great question, and you'd see, it almost sounds like, that'd be very difficult to do. My suggestion is to watch some of the samples that we've offered, and John can provide them to you if they're not readily available or in the PowerPoint. But watch some examples. You can get, in 2 to 3 minutes, you can get some really complex concepts across quickly and in an interesting and fun way. We've done them for call center operations, first notice of loss, customer service, shopping, captives, performance-based insurance, benefits plans, and compliance. So you'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised at how much information you can provide because it moves along so quickly.
Yeah, another video we're currently working on is actually for a company that provides a phone app, iPhone or Android app, to agents who have high-risk accounts like hazmat haulers or fuel haulers who may need instant spill reporting and claims handling help when they may, or hopefully don't, have any type of incident while traveling. Now, with that, today's web seminar is now coming to an end. We thank you for attending our 20 to 25-minute Power Web seminars. If you would like a complimentary video consultation, please contact me. Again, my phone and email are on the screen. If you have questions about what we've talked about today, would be happy to answer them. If you would like links to sample whiteboard videos, would be happy to provide that as well. We hope you all have a great day. Once again, thank you for attending.